Okay, again, boys and girls, this is Jim from the Broom Cupboard. It's tight, but you have to make do with what you got. And my wife doesn't like me having the computer anywhere else in the house, and she's the boss. Well, she thinks she is. Anyway, yeah, I'll carry on from what I was going on about the last time, which was my second and third jobs. After I got kicked out my third job, seemed to make a habit of that. I didn't know what to do for a while. Went down the employment exchange, and I was offered a job with a co-op funeral service making coffins, but I thought that would be a dead-end job. Bubble. couldn't resist it. No, I was actually offered that. I couldn't do it. It just didn't seem right somehow. It wasn't me. Full of life and and sort of this didn't seem right. Anyway, beside the point, really. So for a while, I just didn't really do anything. Just went out swimming and playing around and my push bike. There's one incident I was telling you. I was in the Senior Scouts. I know I was in the Junior Scouts, but I joined the Senior Scouts just so I could go camping a trip that was being organised. And I managed to cobble together a shirt and a wobble and all that sort of stuff. And there was this occasion when the troop had to go to the cathedral in Portsmouth, some religious thing. Now this time I'm not even being baptised or whatever, confirmed or anything. I have a clue. But I went along with them. I was in there. There's a bit where they're drinking the wine and eat the bread. I don't have a clue what they're talking about really, but I followed on. I got to this bit where they gave me a piece of, it was more like a wafer thing, and they gave me this big silver thing full of wine. The others had sipped it, but I also went. I didn't know what. I was rather thirsty, I think. And this priest said, "I think we'll have to get some more." Now, this wine, of course, wasn't really strong stuff. It was more like red water, really. But I don't think it went down too well. That's the way I do things. Anyway, so yeah, and I was at this time I was living at the other side of Portsmouth from where I used to brought up, sort of Pompey was the sort of side near the naval's base, and there was a train station there, right on the water's edge, for the ferries across to Isle of Wight and that, and there's a little bridge across, and the kids used to jump in the summer, dive in, and all the passengers that would be flinging pennies in, and you go get it. I actually made quite a bit of cash that way. I've always been a very good swimmer and diver, and stay a long time underwater, so no problem. Anyway, I'll get away from the point. So it's sort of hanging around for quite a while, It's sort of got me down, and my mother got me down, and not we haven't really arguments, but it just didn't feel right somehow. Anyway, she actually suggested that I join the army. My mother, hard woman. Anyway, so I went along to the recruitment place and talked to her. I said I wanted to trade. I wanted something that would come out. I didn't want to be a machine gunner or a tank or something. So actually, we talked about the REME and the signals, and we decided that I could join the signals. So I was 17 and a half about this time, so signed the dotted line, and the appointed hour, so to speak, they give me a train ticket, and I got on the train up to London first of all, and then up to Catterick Camp in Yorkshire, where the signals had their base. Got to London, and there was this local lads, trying to sort of steal a march on anyone going through. At this time, of course, it's still national service, so there's bags of young guys going through the station, and they're sort of saying, "You want to gamble this, that, and the other." It's obvious what they're up to. My mother had warned me about all this and stuff, and it had sunk in big time. I said no, so they went off to find someone else, other mug. And I can't say I've never been a mug in my life, but not very often. Anyway, certainly not them. Anyway, carried on, got to Yorkshire, to Catterick Camp, and it was a shock to the system again. These shocks are kill me, I tell you. Anyway, so we put into a place called Mons Barracks, I think it was called. This was actually a huge brick built building, several floors, and we put in there. I think it was about 40 of us to a room, and that was the first evening. I think sort of much happened. Next day, I think about 7 o'clock, they marched us up to the stores, got all this kit, uniform, boots, all the rest of it, and then they had us on the parade ground, shirts off, to get inoculated. About 5 shots each. Guys were falling down, fainting right, left, and centre. One couple fell one side, one guy fell that side. I tell you, when someone falls down next to you fainting, it makes you feel a bit queasy, but I managed to keep myself upright, and it was interesting. And of course, then we sort of went to the cookhouse and meals and that. I didn't mind the food, actually. A lot of the guys were complaining about it, but to me, being used to not having much, it was pretty good. I didn't mind at all. I mean, something called pom, which is sort of funny potato thing, sort of false potato, I think it was. Tasted a bit weird, but apart from that, everything was fine. Anyway, so we got into the training and the marching. Lots and lots of marching. Lots of marching. Up and down and round about. This and the other guy showing it. Regimental sergeant major come and say, "Hey, lower as a man," right in your face, just like that. Can hardly understand what it's all about. You got used to it, ignored him after all. He just all stood there. But there's one guy who couldn't march. Your legs and your arms go sort of separately, and of course he went the same, and he just couldn't march. And they tried to sort of teach him and this and that, but after about 4 or 5 days, they kicked him out. Several guys got kicked out. One guy ended up with perforated eardrum for some reason or other. He was from Kenya and he wanted to be an officer, and he was really disappointed being kicked out because of this perforated eardrum, which developed while he was there. So what can you say? I suppose he went back to Kenya and went back to planting peanuts or whatever they did up there. So it was interesting. A lot of bull, of course, polishing boots and keeping everything clean and cleaning toilets and whatever. When you clean the toilet, there are 40 men of you. You know what it is. I couldn't make a few words here, but I won't. But anyway, eventually, of course, we had the passing out parade, and we marched down this field with some high-ranking officers just sort of looking down at us. And I can remember the sort of sergeant saying, "Come on, lads, bags of swank." Swank is like, if you're marching ordinary, just marching. Swank is, we're the best there, boys, sort of thing, up to his knees. And then we parked out, and then, of course, we went to technical training, which I will talk about next time, because otherwise you're going to get really bored with me talking about this all the time. I know that. Anyway, so take care of yourselves out there. Behave.